Well, I'm sorry that the video has to be in this format, but different truck, phone holder in the other truck, hence the reason I haven't been doing any videos, but I wanted to. So Trump, on his first day, reversed so many of the damaging things that the Biden administration did, and his administration, or his first speech, blew me away. And I have to say, I have my doubts about the bloke, but if he can achieve even a quarter of what he says he's going to do, then he'd be a mythical status, literally. So from now on, there's only two genders. Boosh. So for all you fantasists that believe you're a semi-fluid, I don't know, bubble spirit level, Elouette and Barlin and light bulb pick and lick and left-handed wind-nutted fucking fish-baked screwdriver, you're not. You're a fucking idiot. So that's nice. What else are you going to do? Just like that, border sorted. And also, all those people that have got in immediately, or illegally I should say, you lot, up the Straza, you're off. Fuck off. We don't want you here. Then, what was that? The World Health Organization, is it the Health Organization or whatever it is? Fuck off. Beautiful. And that there, the moment he cuts ties with them, they've taken back their sovereignty, because I don't know if any of you know, most of you probably do, that we've all agreed by some, well, we haven't, they have, is that in a time of an emergency crisis, they'll actually be able to take over the running of a country and its sovereignty. Well, temporarily, of course. But would you get it back? And this was agreed since the last pandemic. But anyway, that's another thing. Oh, that was it. All of you people that were booted out of the army because you wouldn't take the vax, you're reinstated at the same level, full back pay. Good. All those people that allegedly were terrorists storming the, what do you call it, the Capitol, you're all out the nick. There you go, and a pardon. Now, speaking of pardons, why is it that Joe Biden preemptively gave all of his family a pardon? Now, I remember when Joe Biden was coming into power and they thought that the first time round as Trump was coming out, that he was going to go and pardon all his family, but I believe that wasn't the case. And they were slandering and slaughtering him, and now the other things happened. Heyo. So what else is he going to do? He's actually going to start charging other countries, put tariffs on them and make his country more money. He's going to put his country first. He's going to think and put God back into the picture. He's also, some of you won't like that, also, he's going to stop toxically poisoning the kids in school and weaponizing what they learn, okay? And they're going to be taught, and he's going to literally promote this, common sense. Something I've been talking about for years, and this is something I do on this channel, and some of the people, or I would imagine most of the people that follow me, are into that thing called common sense, which by its very term, you would think everybody had. Obviously common being common, but it's not common anymore. It's quite uncommon. Back in the day, if you didn't have common sense, you got hurt. Strictly speaking, you would do something stupid that everybody else could have worked out for themselves would have hurt them, be it physically, financially, or otherwise, all right? So they wouldn't do it. But the fucking, the Darwin idiot would go and do it. The fucking idiot that wanted to stick a fork into a plug socket or hand in the fire, that kind of stuff. Well, anyway, we've tried to scrap that. I say we again, and I shouldn't, because it's not us. There were a certain group of people that dumbed down to a level not known before the children in most of the world, really, Europe, America, Canada, other parts of the world. And this was some of the progression from what originally started out as the School of Frankfurt didn't help, but if you went back slightly before that, you could have looked at the Rockefeller Institution. The whole purpose of that was to standardize the education system across the world and dumb down the population. I've talked about this before, but they did a study of what kids were like at the age of 3 and 4, and they were all potential geniuses. That was 98% of it. Apparently, after they'd been through the education system, only 2% of them still showed that sign of genius. Now, I'd ask you this. That 2% that still showed signs of genius, were they the type that, like many other people that I would know, that can think outside the box, didn't go along with the education system, fought against it, didn't play along with it, didn't understand it, just whatever. So yeah, that's another thing. He is now going to use a merit-based system, a system that we used for, I don't know, thousands of years, I think it was, until the Marxist left got in and decided that the best thing to do was to put a certain colour or a certain gender forward that probably couldn't do the job. See a battleship getting sunk because of political correctness. Apparently had nothing to do with the gender. Or if you listen to Bering, he'd have said it was for the fact that a woman was fucking on the ship. Anyway, I digress. Basically, what America's patriots, what America's normal people have been praying for, he says he's going to do. Now, I do believe this has affected the stock market in a positive way. Many people are now looking at America as a viable option, and people who, say, for instance, years ago might have put their money into Great Britain have seen that it's run by a absolute lunatic, a moron, a person that when you ask him what a woman or a man is, he can't tell you. Why? Because he's so utterly entrenched in this cultural Marxism, trying to destroy the very fabric of our society. He is just but a small cog in the wheel, right? In his own work, he wants to ruin our country so biblically that the next thing that they're planning can take over. He's a bloke that has literally buried stuff that we should have known about for years. And I mean, when you look at the latest thing with that, the picture of that killer, and they showed this lovely little picture of this black kitty, and then you actually see the picture of him, a psychotic, murderous, hateful, fucking bigot bag of shit. But anyway, let's go back to America, because it's a lot more upbeat. Now, when you compare the two speeches on their first day of Trump being positive, we're going to achieve this, we're going to achieve that, we're going to make America great again, we are the best country, and it was just so positive, it really did make, I was a bit emotional. I didn't cry or anything like that, but hang on, right, so I just check it because people are trying to ring. I didn't cry or anything, but I was just so fucking proud for them. I really was. That will wear off over here, people. Trust me on this one. But we have to find a politician with the minerals of Donald Trump. Now, yes, I am sceptical. There's a reason for this, right? When you wear certain things on your head and you kiss walls, it makes me a bit dubious. However, just the very fact that he came out and said what he said, and then reversed all of those things that the Biden administration did, that in itself, even if he is a globalist, has given me great hope. And then you've got, obviously, what's his name, Elon Musk, who's helping to wind up the lunatic left. Now, I use left and right, but we are now more or less down to good and bad, or good and evil if you want to go that far, and there is a lot of evil out there. And you can be sure that the people that are running this country at the moment are evil. No ifs, no buts. I mean, when you've got ministers who are in charge of corruption, getting done for corruption, and then you've got some minister or MP or whatever you want to call it that's calling out people and saying about sexual grooming and all the rest of it, then the next thing he gets nicked by paedophile hunters. We're in a lot of trouble over here, and we do need a fucking miracle. But the way that Trump thinks of Keir Starmer, I believe the words were, he is an idiot. And he is right. He is right insofar as when he opens his mouth, he sounds like an idiot, but he's made himself a lot of money. Not very popular, but there again, that doesn't seem to bother Labour, does it? Or Conservative, for that matter. When you looked at Tony Blair, I voted for him. I'll make it. I'll be honest. I didn't know much about politics anyway back then, but I actually thought that he would be something different. And how fucking wrong was I? I think it was at that point I started looking into politics a bit more. But he became very unpopular and very wealthy. Very powerful and very wealthy. And Keir Starmer, like the others, now he's had a position where he is, He will be financially sorted for the rest of his life. So Donald Trump came back looking a lot more serious than he did the first time round. And he said, since I've been shot and I survived, I worked out that God gave me this position to change America. That pleased me. Did you see the state of that religious faith that's part of that freak of nature church that has any sexual degenerate in a position of power came out and said, oh, people at the moment are scared. Why? What? Because the idiot media say that really bad things are going to happen from a group of individuals which, to be honest, at best, want fuck all to do with her kind, let alone go and do something terrible to them. No, I would suggest that if you want to be worried about anything, be worried about Islam that you're importing en masse, which actually considers your type an abomination, and it has certain doctorates or whatever that tells them what they have to do. I can't say it on here for algorithm basis, but you get the idea. Most of you will know anyway, right? But it is simply what it is at the moment, that if we can all follow in the recent footsteps in America, which I think things are on the turn anyway, and yet I'm still trying to work it all out. Is this actually genuine change, or is this no more than stirring one side up against the other side? So you've had those wankers for a while wrecking everything, then you'll have this lot go and put it all back together, and in the process the system will spend trillions doing it, and the people that own said companies that will benefit from this carry on benefiting. That's where I am at the moment. Oh, there's the other one. He will stop getting America involved in wars that don't have America's interest in it. He will broker peace between fighting nations, and he's also going to go through the military and kick out all the trans, right? Which, to be honest, no offence, but if you actually believe you're something you're not, I don't want you with a rifle in your hand, or any weapon for that description. You're a big enough weapon on your own, like I am that. So yeah, great start. Okay, lots more to come. I mean, the Liberal tears, but they are all victims of a system that's weaponized them to make money, to cause divide, and to weaken the fabric of their society. Now, as much as these idiots have been weaponized, there is a chance they could be fixed, okay, and actually start functioning as normal human beings that contribute something to the country they live in, rather than simply take. Because that's a problem that we've got over here, and that's a problem you've got all over the world, that there's a generation of kids at the moment that can't do a day's work without dissolving in tears and having a meltdown, because they've been given everything and never been tested. Yet again, if we'd have had common sense growing up and discipline, these kids would have been adequately prepared for what lays ahead. And you have to also look at some of the people further afield in different countries and how they train their kids. I mean, you could look into some of the Asian countries, and they've got kids which are no more than bloody toddlers that can disassemble and reassemble a pistol. You've got kids over in lands that are rather warm that can operate a Kalashnikov or an AK-47. What can our kids do? Paint a rainbow flag. That's powerful. Yeah, and let's be fair, if you've got a marauding army, you're not going to see them off with pronouns, are you? So America will be getting itself back on track, and as Trump said, he thanked the Hispanics for their vote, which they did give in rather large quantity. He thanked the black community for their vote and said that we will be making sure that we treat all of you equally the same, which is no more than the average normal Hispanic or black person over there wants. Normal, I say. Not just that, can you imagine that you went through a 10-year process of trying to get into a country? Then when you get into the country, every time you hear the post, I can't remember what they call it, where the flag goes up. They stand there and stand attention or salute the flag, or they're proud of their flag and all the rest of it. Then all of a sudden you get some criminal slink his way across the border. God knows what they're up to. It makes a mockery of the effort and the law-abidingness that these people that came into the country legally have gone through. And obviously Trump kind of realised this. If you're willing to break the law getting into the country, how many laws are you willing to break once you're in that country? He's deemed the cartels as a terrorist organisation. I couldn't disagree. I couldn't agree more, I should say. But at that, is he actually then going to look into the CIA, who have been running drugs into that country since the Bush-Reagan administration? Well, they came in en masse there. You only look at Barry Seal. And also Air America was a bit of a thing about that. But they were doing that long before, I believe, Second World War onwards. But I mean, when they sent advisors into Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam and places like that, advisors basically mean paid mercenaries a lot of the time. And these people were also drugs running. They were getting huge sums of opiates from places like Afghanistan and all over the Middle East and all over Asia and stuff like that. And it was the CIA that was bringing it in there to fund black ops. Now, some of you may know what black ops are, some of you won't. Basically, it's stuff that's not approved, and that they need to get the funding, and they'll never get the funding at the Senate or anything else. So they have to have illegal organisations that they can run money through. By the way, we're off-road now, so if you're one of these people that want to get me done, tough. Yeah. So basically speaking, hang on a minute. Living the dream.
Living the dream? I'm living in a dream, eh?
Yeah, folks are down at Bats Combe, aren't they?
Is that why you all got the other one, is it?
Sorry about this, we're still working at the moment, bear with. Don't worry, I'm just talking to a video that I'm doing. Cheers, mate. Never done that before, have I? There you go. This doesn't pay, work does. Fucking Christmas nearly fucked me. Yeah, so basically, the Black Ops funded a lot of the dirty wars. They would have funded the stuff along with some rich oil barons, like crop burning, election rigging, you know, things like trying to topple people like Castro, taking out President Kennedy, MK Ultra, all those other things. Black Ops and drugs money would have funded that, which is, and I go back to Lockerbie, which is why so many people with FBI were in Lockerbie shortly after the actual accident happened, looking for a few suitcases, one ran packed full of cash and the other ran packed full of drugs. Oh, and the CIA agents that were coming back, one of them was going to blow the he was going to go back to the Senate and tell them all about this drugs thing, so they were going to take him out anyway. Whether or not they planned to do it on that plane, I don't know. But either way, they weren't going through. And one of the big reporters there, and I'm watching a thing about Lockerbie at the moment. It's hard going, by the way, but I've been studying it for years. But they were going through, the farmers said they were going through all of the luggage of these people looking for stuff. What were they looking for? And it's interesting to note that the guy that was coming back from this place where they've been drugs running, he was in the back of the plane, and the 4 special agents that were coming back were in the front of the plane, right up by the nose cone. And yet, when the plane went down, they found all 5 of these people in the vicinity of the nose cone, which up in Tundergarth. They found all the bodies there, which was interesting. Another one as well, that they found a very high up Jewish banker in there. Now, everybody says that the Jews are totally protected. Well, they pulled a load of people off this plane. Lovely. Digger driver telling me where he wants me to dump this stone. They pulled a lot of people off that plane, and yet they didn't pull him. So, you know, when they say they're totally protected, maybe in this case they're not. I don't know. But it's interesting. I would be interested since we're there now. Will there be any more details about things like the JFK assassination, the RFK assassination, the Martin Luther King assassination? Because all of what they were supposed to be, you know, the lone gunman, like whether you want to call it Lee Harvey Oswald, whether you want to say Sirhan, or that other fucking American guy that I can't remember his name that was supposed to have shot Martin Luther King. Turns out that it wasn't those people on their own. There were other people, because at the end of the day, when you look at, say, for instance, Robert Kennedy, he was shot point blank range from behind him. Well, Sirhan was stood in front, and there was burn marks from a muzzle. So there was definitely conspiracy in all of those things. Will he actually bring out the files on that and let us know just how dirty the previous administrations were? And also, who ordered this? What, did it come from the top? Was it the commander-in-chief? Or was it, yet again, that rogue element of the CIA? Don't forget Alan Dulles. Alan Dulles and his brother helped write the Treaty of Versailles, right? And then after that, he ran the CIA and tried to invade Cuba. And it was that Kennedy said, actually, no, I'm not going to give you any help. Then he fired him, Cavill and Bissett, I think it was. And then he ends up on the... he didn't chair the Warren Commission. Earl Warren did. But apparently Earl Warren had very little to do with the fabric of that. And the man that had been fired by Kennedy, Alan Dulles, did. It's all very interesting stuff. But I'm wondering whether this time round, after they've tried to take a pop at him, after they've tried to ruin him financially, and obviously his name, whether he'll just go full guns and let everything out. I mean, I don't actually think that this man has got long to go. Not his health, but they've already had one go at him. And with him doing this kind of stuff, I can't see that they can let it. But, I mean, he's no spring chicken. Maybe he sees this as his hill to die on, I don't know. It's an interesting time, it really is. But are we going to get a resurgence in what they'll call far right, by the way? But it isn't far right. Are we going to get a resurgence in common sense? Now, the other thing is vaccine damage. Are they actually going to be able to... Because I believe that Fauci, he's got a pardon before anything even comes his way. Now, I don't understand whether a pardon can be reversed. I don't... For the little I understand, I don't think it can. Which is a bastard. But is it going to be something in the future where people will be able to sue people about the vaccine damage because they knew damn well that it would cause it? I'm wondering. Also, with his work bringing out the truth, is he going to take people like YouTube to account? All questions. Anyway, I've got to go back out on the roads now, so I'm going to jump off. I'll speak to you in a bit.